So if you guys haven't heard the latest, Tiffany's boyfriend, Kamal Woods, and William Don't Pray For Me No More.
Brother Moore, you prayed us in on unity. You prayed us in and it came with the most divisive speech I heard in my life. Don't pray for me no more.
Have been fired from Thornton Township. Even though, I mean, let's face it, they really didn't do anything there. All they really did was follow Tiffany Henyard around, right? So the Board of Trustees had a meeting that consisted of Carmen Carlisle, Stephanie Wiedemann, and Chris Gonzalez. So, of course, Tiffany Henyard didn't want to show her face because she doesn't like defeat. She knew that things were not going to go her way, so she decided not to show up. What I found interesting as well is that the attorney didn't show up in person, but she was there via Zoom. And that just further shined a light more on whose side these attorneys are really on, because it's the Delgado Law Group, all right? And if you guys have been following this whole situation, you know that the Delgado Law Group is always there for Tiffany Henyard.
After a wild fight ended last week's Thornton Township board meeting, a lawyer for the board is asking the state to allow them to hold remote meetings for the time being. Township Attorney Michael Delgado sent a letter this week to Illinois Governor Pritzker and Attorney General Kwame Raoul asking them for a waiver of the Open Meetings Act that would allow the meetings to be held on Zoom. Delgado says the board believes that given the current political climate in the township, which is led by controversial Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard, it would be best that people meet remotely and not in person.
We are concerned not only for the safety of the public, but for reporters who attend, for the elected officials and staff themselves, that there would be a repeat of what occurred last Tuesday, which was a fight.
I got the baddest attorney in the land. Y'all give it up for Mike Delgado.
To understate it, it was more than a fight, and it could have been a real catastrophe. And so we're asking for the governor to allow for remote meetings.
All right. They're supposed to be over in Dolton. They're supposed to be for the village, representing the village. But we know that they're really there for Tiffany.
Y'all give it up for Mike Delgado. Mike Delgado is the man of the Southland and for Chicago. No, he's not for hire. I'm stingy.
Just like over in Thornton Township, they're supposed to represent the township. But at the end of the day, they're really there for Tiffany because, you know, she hooks them up. That's just my opinion.
But I want you to know that he kept me above water and he kept me prayed up. He's a praying man as well. But when I say he went down there and kicked their attorney Bud Oderson, y'all don't see him where he at. I don't even see him. So I just want y'all to know that this man is the truth as it relates to getting things done for us. So thank you for being by my side. You're welcome. All right.
So like I said, Tiffany didn't show up because she knew she was about to get the business. Okay. And neither did any of her cronies show up. So the trustees were able to get the meeting done very efficiently. And you could tell they were a little bit uncomfortable on how to really run the meeting, but that's something they'll learn in time. They'll get better at that. But at the end of the day, they got the business done, and there wasn't a lot of drama and extraness, okay, that Tiffany Henyard brings.
Item 6, action coming out of closed session. Is there a motion?
I would like to make a motion to terminate effective immediately Kamal Woods. Second.
Trustee Wiedemann?
Yes.
Trustee Carlisle?
Yes.
Supervisor Pro Tem Gonzalez?
Yes.
Motion passed.
I would like to make a motion to terminate effective immediately William Moore. Second.
Okay, Trustee Wiedemann?
Yes.
Trustee Carlisle?
Yes.
Supervisor Pro Tem Gonzalez?
Yes.
Motion passed.
So let's talk about the possible reason that Tiffany Henyard's boyfriend got fired, besides just being hired to begin with because he was sleeping with the boss. All right, let's just face it, that's why he was hired. But what job was he doing was the real question, because he was apparently, you know, the leader of a youth program, but there was never any results yielded from said program. There were never any parents whose kids were involved in the program that ever spoke up about the program. There were no statistics on how many youth in the program he's helped, what he's done, you know.
Come on, I would like to know your position. I would like to know I would like an update, a report, a statistic, a measurable outcome on some of these youth programs that you have. You don't do anything but cause disruption, intimidation, confusion, and I just don't understand what it is you're getting paid to do.
There was nothing really on paper that backed up the job he was doing, the quote unquote job he was doing. He just had a title and he was making over $100,000 a year just being at the meetings, standing there, staring down residents, intimidating people. And then obviously the latest incident with him getting into an actual physical fight with, an activist named Jedediah Brown, and then Tiffany's ex, Lavelle Redmond. So there was a little scuffle at the township, which Tiffany ran over and jumped into. You guys, if you don't know about that, go ahead and watch my video I have up here on that township brawl. But yeah, it was just a hot mess, of course. So yeah, I think that kind of aided in the trustees' decision to go ahead and bump up this firing of her boyfriend and William Don't Pray For Me No More. Because in the previous board meeting, they put them on paid administrative leave. So the trustees just went ahead and finished it off at this board meeting and fired them. And William Moore, he got fired because he just wasn't doing anything either. He was just following Tiffany around like a little lap dog. His devotion was like a cult follower level to her, or it still is actually. It's just very disturbing.
We're not forced to do this. I love my job. I love working for Mayor Henyard. I'm here at 7:30 in the morning, and it's whatever it takes because this is what we inherited. I appreciate your energy and your effort to get these things done. And I'll end with this. It said, any that's chief among you, let it be he that serve. We see your heart that you love for these people. And so we're with you. And with that, I'm going to give my report. So I appreciate it, the opportunity to make history. And when it's all said and done, your legacy will speak for itself.
He would go to the meetings, disrespect the residents. He would always turn off the microphones over there in Dolton when the residents were trying to speak. So what we see here is Trustee Kiana Belcher going up and turning on the mics. Okay. Now what we see right after is this guy right here, William Moore, take his little butt over there and turn the mics off. And this is resident comment. Okay, so the residents are supposed to be coming up there to start, doing their comments, addressing the issues that they have with what's going on, because we know there's a lot going on. But he's Team Tiffany, so he just decides, you know what? No, we're going to turn the microphones off. We don't care what they have to say because Her Majesty has not arrived yet.
You never know with Moore over there. I mean, that was petty. Just prove how petty you were. They had a legal right to meeting, and you shut off the mic. What did you think that was going to accomplish? The meeting still went forward. So not sure why you did that. You're just so petty and unprofessional. How are you okay with that? How are you okay with yourself? Okay, I'll just repeat what she said. She said, on our tax dollars. I mean, why do you do that? Why do you think it's okay to do that? I mean, does your relationship camaraderie mean that much that you are okay with selling your soul?
He would always be extremely disrespectful while claiming to be a man of God in the same breath. So the hypocrites, they run together, because I've already displayed the supreme hypocrisy of Tiffany Henyard on this channel over and over again, right? So that's pretty much the latest on Tiffany Henyard in Thornton Township. So I'm going to get to this video for you guys. You guys know how I like to do on this channel. Mix a little bit of old footage with a little bit of new. Show you some of the subtle hypocrisies, not subtle, okay? The blatant hypocrisies of Tiffany Henyard. And then you'll kind of understand, if you're new here to this whole situation, why things are the way they are today. Just kind of give you guys a little bit of ideas of what happened in the past and comparing them to present situations. So like always, you guys, if you're new here and you like what you hear, please remember to leave this video a like. And if you're a returning subscriber, please remember to leave it a like as well. Let's start the show.
Opponents called for the mayor of Dolton to resign. She is defending herself. Tiffany Henyard says she is staying put and running for re-election. Henyard says if she wins, she will choose employees much more carefully.
She even admitted during one of the board meetings that she hired Keith Freeman and his background check still hadn't come back yet.
Again, this is a This is not the correct way to do it. We found out about him when we got the agenda. We talked to him on Sunday for 20 minutes. Again, no background check was given, even though we implemented. We passed it to get the background, that still hasn't been given. We got his resume as we were talking to him. So this mayor was a trustee for 8 years.
I ran for trustee in 2013. 2013, I became the youngest trustee for the village of Dolton. I sat there for 8 years, I'll say that.
This was not brought across the board the right way. It's last minute, and then it's forced on us. And then you wonder why we do this. You know this is the wrong way to do this. You complained about this for 8 years.
Okay, well, this is for the record, Mary Kay. I cannot and I will not support this ordinance. I do not agree with the mayor solely doing the hire and fire in the village of Dolton. In the past, history has shown itself that the mayor strictly do political favors. He only hire and fire people that he chooses to. If you don't speak to him, you will get fired. It's real petty, so I cannot support it. This is for the record, Mary Kay. My vote will be a no on him having hire and fire power.
And you have that right. So how can I fire somebody if they don't speak to me when I didn't have authority to fire somebody? And this is exactly what I'm talking about, working with the board. Now, how come every other mayor has that right? There's not one in the state of Illinois that cannot hire and fire. I'm not looking to hire and fire anybody. I'm looking to get good qualified people to be here, and I expect the people that's here to do their job.
You did it all wrong. You can't get this to us on Sunday. We talked to him on Sunday for 20 minutes. That wasn't even enough time for two trustees to talk to him. And I told him today when I talked to him, you don't have the vote. We don't have the vote because we don't know him. We don't have enough time to sit down to vet him to get our right answers. And then this mayor had a history of hiring people without the correct background check. So there's no background check on him right now. We don't know.
The mayor of Dolton has had nothing to say in person about the investigation into village finances until today.
I understand everybody want me to be the target. I understand everybody want me to be the bad guy for everything that goes on in the village, but that's not the truth. Oh, so you don't want to give a response? That's what I'm talking about with bad leadership. When you're supposed to respond and say, trustee, I think we should raise it. I think we should not. I think we should go this route. You never give any opinion because you don't want to be held accountable for anything. I don't like that.
So if you do it the correct way, Mayor, which you know how to do, because you complained about it heavy for 8 years.
So now you put back on the board, but you never say what you think, Mayor. What do you think, Mayor?
Trustee, when I tell you what I think, then you start an argument with me. Go
ahead,
Trustee.
It's not an argument. You're not telling me anything.
Right.
You just saying go to committee and put it back on the board. You're not saying what the mayor think we should do is what I'm asking you. You're not responding to that.
Thank you for your comment.
I know, right.
Trustee House, did you have a comment?
Henyard says she's being blamed for the actions of others.
You're the boss.
Do everybody know what their employees do? No.
You're doing it wrong. You cannot just force this on them. You have to work with your board, Mayor. You have to work with your board.
All I'm asking is to stop doing that. Go before the body and get your approval. That's it.
But do you feel responsibility because they were your employees?
I feel responsibility to tell the truth, and that's what I'm doing. Mayor, if someone's not doing their job, what are you supposed to do? You have a business, I have a business. You discipline the employee. You don't sit here and take over it, or you find somebody that's going to do what we're asking. That's what I'm saying. All I want is the residence tree cut down. That's it. That's all I'm asking for.
Remember that statement that you said over and over again?
So what I'm saying, or what I'm asking as a trustee, is that you report to your board. That's the structure, that's the order that you ignore every time.
You're not working with your board. You're forcing this on us, and you're just shoving it down our throat. You have to learn to work with the board, period.
So what I'm asking you, if you want something paid, put it before your board. My question to you, Mayor, is what's the plan? What's the plan going forward?
I just told you the plan.
No. I don't like that plan.
On Monday, former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot revealed expenses ballooned during Henyard's tenure that led to a deficit of $3.65 million at one point.
Lori Lightfoot's not interested in fact, but in spectacle. She's interested in political theater that's going to help her, not the people.
Lightfoot reports anything over $5,000 needed trustee approval, but that protocol wasn't followed, and instead the village was paying off expenses from 6 different credit cards.
This whole thing about we're trying to hurt people, we pass ordinances and laws that this administration is not following.
That included few receipts from places like Wayfair and Amazon, and over $40,000 for items for an ice skating rink.
That's just unacceptable. It's unacceptable. We're not trying to hurt anybody. We're just trying to do our jobs and be responsible with the taxpayers' money.
Put the responsibility where it goes. I understand everybody wants to be the mayor. It's not the mayor.
That's what I'm talking about with mayor leadership. You never give any opinion because you don't want to be held accountable for anything. I don't like that.
Lightfoot spokesperson shared a comment which reads in part, Mayor Henyard and others systematically withheld the truth from trustees and the public about the true financial state of the village.
I guess I'm just wondering when we received the credit card bills. I know it's been like a month or two since we received the credit card bills. So since we're going over corporate bills, I was just wondering, do we have them, or will we receive them, and when we will receive them, if so?
All right. Anybody else?
Was that a question?
Yeah, it's a question.
You're not the trustee asking. I'm going to say my statement so we're not going back and forth. Everybody get out whatever they want to say, and then I will respond. Thank you, sir. Anybody else? Everybody got everything out that they wanted to say? All right. As relates to anything that happens here at the Village of Dolton, when we send out the warrant list to the Board of Trustees, it is 24/7 that you work as an elected official. If you get it late on time, you still have time to reach out to myself. As I stated in several meetings, call my phone. I work 24/7. My phone is never off. If a board member has a issue, a debate as relates to a warrant list up here.
Mayor, you gave a whole speech, and I had one question. Why did you guys not give me what I was asking for, or the board? The board asked for it, I asked for it.
Well, you know,
he gave it to you, and you said you went and looked at it. You could have called us, emailed it to everybody. We wouldn't even be discussing this right now. We'd be past this if you just gave us what we asked for.
The spokesperson goes on to say, the facts speak for themselves, and no amount of spin can overcome the tragic reality of her tenure as mayor of the Village of Dolton. A day after the Lightfoot report, social media lit up with videos of a scuffle at a Thornton Township meeting where Henyard is supervisor. Henyard is seen in this video getting involved in the chaos. Her lawyer claims someone from outside Dolton who attended the meeting swung a knife at the mayor's boyfriend.
I always tell you, do your homework. You can FOIA it. You can go check it out. You can get the ordinances. That way you'll see who is doing what.
These men are attacking him with a deadly weapon, and the mayor, fearing for his safety, did go toward that crowd, risking getting hurt herself.
We should mention no one was arrested or charged in that incident in Thornton Township. Now, meantime, the Dolton Board meets on Monday, but after what happened in Thornton, Mark and Cheryl, Tiffany Henyard says she's unlikely to attend unless they beef up security. Her attorney claims that coverage of the incident unfairly villainizes Henyard.
Because right now, guys, you have been hoodwinked. You've been bamboozled. You've been led astray. So again, as we go through the motions, I just want you to understand what's before you once again. This is something that myself, Trustee Carmen and Trustee Chris, all voted for. We voted to do a forensic audit of credit cards used by Carmen and Keith Friedman. Unfortunately, we are at this stage where now we can pick the person to move forward with the investigation of the use of credit cards. And again, it saddens my heart that people don't want to move forward on something they voted to do, claiming that they wanted to be transparent, but yet they're saying no to moving forward so the actual investigation can take its place. We did do the proper channels as it relates to put it in the paper, put it out for bid, things of that nature. And now we're here at this moment trying to move forward. And just like y'all see them voting today, they could have came to every single board meeting and did exactly what they're doing today, which is vote no. They could have voted no, and we would have voted yes, right? And it would not have passed. So that's that for.
I have a question about this. So this was passed on 9/24, and I agree with it. but we also agreed to another forensic audit on 3 years of each department. Why wasn't that ever submitted?
So if you had that question, you could have asked.
Well,
that
I'm asking
question.
now. I'm asking now. I'm asking now. Don't. And I did email. I emailed months ago, and I never got a response. So I'm asking now.
People tend to put up smoke signals as it relates to the question before you. People tend to put up smoke signals as it relates to the question before you.
I have a question about this. So this was passed on 9/24, but we also agreed to another forensic audit on 3 years of each department. Why wasn't that ever submitted?
The question before you is on the agenda for approval, and all you have to do is approve it. If people had questions about anything else, it has nothing to do with what's before you, which is to vote to investigate Carmen Carlisle for the credit cards that she had. That's what it's for. That's what it's for. It's strictly for that and it's nothing else. So if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. So if you said no, you said no. But before you said yes, you said, I'm transparent. I'm going to vote. So vote and let's move forward. So the company
I am transparent. One thing I don't do is to trust you or keep trusting. Resubmit this and send it out to people, present it to the board. I don't trust your administration.
And we don't trust you. So that's why we're doing an investigation. So we're trying to move forward with the investigation so that now the public would know exactly how things were spent here at Thornton Township. That's what they want to know. And as it relates to any other department, we also voted to investigate every single department here in Thornton Township. That's the part they leaving out to y'all. I voted for it. She voted for it. Chris voted for it. So we all voted to investigate every single department at Thornton Township.
So while that's very true what she's stating, that they all voted to have every department in Thornton Township investigated going back 3 years, there's one little thing that Tiffany Henyard is leaving out, okay? And that one thing we can see if we go to the Thornton Township website and we look up this RFP. And so for those of you who don't know, an RFP is just a request for a proposal. So in this case, the company is Thornton Township, and they're putting out a proposal for businesses to answer to, which is the investigation into these departments. But in this case, the RFP only highlights investigation into Carmen Carlisle and Keith Freeman's usage of credit cards. All right. So she conveniently left out the other departments in this RFP process. I wonder why that is. Of course, she doesn't mention that, right? When you can plainly go to the website and see that she just put in an RFP just for those two people, not the other departments. And I wonder why. Could it be because her sister works in one of the departments, because she did hire her sister after she got into the supervisor position? And could it be because her boyfriend used to work in Thornton Township? I wouldn't say work, but he had a position in there because, as we discussed earlier in the video, he got fired, right? So she doesn't want anybody going in there investigating their jobs and what they were actually doing or not doing. So she conveniently left them out of the RFP process, but she still wants to push for the other people to get investigated, which is Carmen and Keith. Like the nerve, like the gall, really. It's just like she plays in people's faces. She treats people like they're dumb, like the information is right there in front of you. And it's obvious what she's trying to do. But I digress, you guys. That's going to be it for today. Once again, if you enjoyed the video, please remember to leave it a like. And if you're new here, subscribe.
So it's time, residents. We have to change this reality. And we know what to do. We know what to do. It's in our hands. We can change this. We're tired of this. These meetings run so smooth when she's not here. They get things done when this administration's not here. They keep up chaos, and it's time to change that. So, Clean House 2025. It's good to see everybody. Peace.
So, on February 23rd, help me bring change to Dolton by punching 2 to win. Punch 2 to win. Tiffany Henyard. Thank you.